right, look, I know everybody wants to get the next hot shot altcoin cryptocurrency to 1000x in 2.5 hours, but look, some of that is not realistic, right? Also, some of the information you consume can be short-term beneficial, but long-term, you're sacrificing pretty much everything. One of the ways I've been able to come up in cryptocurrency and make a lot of money, as well as in business, as well as in life, is my ability to read books. I know it sounds corny and might not be sexy, but it's the truth. Keep watching. When I first started off, guys, I was lost, right? And I know a lot of you probably are lost. There's been so much articles, misinformation, and pretty much the internet has a huge problem. There's overconsumption and there's too much information, right? So the biggest part of you actually making money in cryptocurrency is consolidating that or filtering out the negative stuff. Now, on the internet, remember, anyone can just type an article up and throw it up on the internet, regardless if it has any credibility or not. I highly recommend you guys look at these 7 books. I've read every single one of them, some of them multiple times, and they have definitely changed my life. And if you appreciate these videos, do us both a favor, hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell. Also smash the like buttons, get this to as many people as possible. So the first book, it's a classic, right? And it's not just cryptocurrency, but it teaches you about business models and essentially like kind of super innovative technologies that change the world. It's called 0 to 1. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you don't understand how businesses work, how can you call the next business? How can you use fundamental analysis to understand the next greatest innovation? 0 to 1 explains the history of all the most successful businesses and why they did so well, and these innovations that pretty much changed mankind. We think that cryptocurrency is going to change mankind. A lot of parallels in there. And I think this is a great book for everybody to read. Number 2, Bitcoin Billionaires. Now, this one's great. This is like a storyline. It's really interesting how much money these cryptocurrency guys are making. And it's kind of like behind the scenes. There is going to be a movie potentially that comes out in the future. But basically, it just talks about the Winklevoss twins. It talks about billionaires. It talks about the whole behind the scenes storyline that a lot of people miss. This is one of those books that you can like literally watch a movie. Like it's like a story. It's great. It tells you how they think. It gives you a behind the scenes perspective on a lot of situations that most people kind of just pass up. Like these billionaires are really billionaires. They're making a lot of money and they're kind of like fighting amongst each other. So yeah, it's one of those books that definitely must read. And I know a lot of people have been recommending it. So I can confidently recommend Bitcoin Billionaires. Number 3, probably one of the greatest books of all time when it comes to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin Standard. So the Bitcoin Standard essentially gives you the ultimate pitch or the ultimate argument for Bitcoin in the future. Now, the beauty of this is that the first couple of chapters doesn't even have to do with Bitcoin at all. They're explaining the history of money, right? They're talking about economics, right? And it explains in a very simple and digestible way of exactly why Bitcoin is a superior form of currency compared to others. Now, again, the reason why I say this is one of the greatest books of all time, if you haven't read this yet and you're in cryptocurrency, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to understand where this comes from so you can accurately, 1, tell people, and 2, stop faith investing. This will give you the faith you need. It will explain to you, again, the history of monies and how they crafted Bitcoin out of the principles of the history of money, not some new theory, right? That some economists made up 20 years ago. Some, they say modern monetary theory. It's not something new. This is something, again, Bitcoin was crafted from the fundamental laws of nature. Long story short, this is definitely something you need to read. And it's like literally probably out of this list, the most important if you haven't read it. Number 4, The Man Who Solved the Market. Now, this is a beautiful book when it comes to understanding and quantifying how serious people are in investing. Remember, when you're investing in cryptocurrency or any market on earth, you are trading against the biggest people, right? You're trading against quantum computers that are not actual quantum computers, but super powerful computers that are in some cases worth billions of dollars. These computers are massive, right? And this is the first person that created something called algo trading or algorithmic trading. With Renaissance Technologies, was considered one of the best medallion hedge fund on planet Earth, right? So this guy created basically supercomputers to actually trade algorithmically for the first time. And ever since then, nobody looked back. Pretty much every big trading form uses cryptocurrencies. They're not using like human instinct anymore. We know we do that because we don't have the money to purchase these computers. But again, it's a very good book to understand the back ends of how finance works and how the innovations come from these computers and these quantum computers. The man who solved the market, he solved the market, made a lot of money in Medallion Fund. It's a really good story. It talks about hedge funds and them going at each other, and a whole bunch of money being lost, a whole bunch of money being made. It talks about kind of the thinking process they had when creating it. And if you ever wanted to create your own fund, this is a great book. It doesn't have to do specifically with cryptocurrency, but it shows, it gives you a sneak peek how innovations in this market work. So definitely a good book to read. Go check it out. Number 5, Principles by Ray Dalio, and the new future, the new decentralized internet, right? And then the last one, it's actually a marketing based book, but I know a lot of people fall in these huge pitfalls in cryptocurrency when it comes to like specifically consuming information. It's called Trust Me, I'm Lying. Now, I haven't read this recently, but I read this a couple of years ago, and it gave me a great perspective on how to actually research cryptocurrencies. And the reason I say that is because you kind of get an inside scoop into the back end of these reporters, these people that write these articles, right? These companies that give you the information that you consume. Like, what is their decision-making process? When I read this book, it freaked me out.